What is going on, guys? In tonight's video, I want to talk about the 5 pillars to the masculine life. What are they, why you need to understand them, and how to use them to fully step into your power. Let's get into it. There's a question that I've been obsessed with my entire life, and that is, how do we have it all? James Bond was an inspiration for me when I was younger, in the way that he was with women, the way that he was with his ability to speak, the way that he was with being able to fight, make money, drive cars, all of this. And so how do we truly own it and have it all as men? I think that's why we're here, right? We got one life to live. What type of life do we want to live? Do we want to go all in, want to have these incredible experiences, or do we want to coast through it? And so that's been a question that has dominated most of my life. And what I saw in my early 20s as I started working an office job is there's a lot of people who learn how to make money, a lot of men who learn how to make money who don't have anything else. They don't have the relationships, they don't have the charisma, they don't have the body. And then there's a lot of guys who have the body, but they don't have the income, they don't have the charisma, they don't have the relationships. And you start to see this pattern through life, right? And a lot of the traditional jobs that people tell you to work in society, be a lawyer, be a doctor, you see these people that they have a certain job that doesn't give them any of the freedom to truly be able to dominate and excel in the 5 pillars of the masculine life. And so what are those pillars? The first is your mindset, your mind, right? Nothing matters if you don't have peace in your mind. Nothing matters if you are not enjoying your life. You can be sitting on the front of a yacht, you can be on a private jet, you can be making $1 million in a day. But if your mind and mindset is not correct, you don't have anything. That's the first place to start, your mind. The second of the pillars is your body. Feeling good in your body, having a body that is healthy, that is working well. These 2 things are key for you as a man, to have those 2. And then your third one is your business. So your mind, your body, and your business. Your business is your work, your passion, your path. What do you give to the world? How do you give your gifts? See, each one of us are here to give our gifts to the world. Each one of us are here to give our unique abilities. You have skill sets and interests and experiences that have led you to be incredibly talented at something. So do I, so does everyone around us. Part of our purpose in life is to figure out what that is and to give that to the world and be able to receive value from giving value. Ultimately, money follows value. So the more value you can give, the more money you're going to receive. So that's the business pillar. And the fourth one is relationships. Most men mess this up. Most men think, I'm going to focus on my income, my business, and then I'm going to focus on my girl. Or I'm going to focus on my income, and then I'm going to focus on my body. And those are the only 2 things they have. But as you start to look at life in these 5 different pillars, you can start to develop habits, routines, and goals in each of the 5 pillars. So the next one is your relationships. This is your relationships romantically. This is your relationship with your friends, your family, everyone. That always comes after your mind being right, your body being right, and your business or your path being right. Priority, then the relationships. Now as you step into the relationships, you can understand, how do I maintain, keep, and grow incredible relationships in my life? So that's the 4th one. And then the 5th one is something that most guys do not see the value of. And this is what makes you an interesting man. This is what makes you a man that is worth meeting for other people. This is what gives you the flavor in your life. And that is your adventure. And many men don't make goals in this. Many men don't make habits in this. But it's important as a man to be able to cultivate adventure in your life. Experiences, traveling the world, being cultured, seeing other cultures, learning to, ride a horse, learning to ride a motorcycle, all these things that help to give some character to your life. These are the 5 pillars of the masculine life. And if you start to develop habits, routines, and prioritize these 5 pillars, I truly believe it allows you to step into a completely different and unique life that 99% of men don't have. Do you see that? Do you see how powerful this is to be able to look at life through these different lenses, right? It's not just, how do I get the income? It's not just, how do I get more in shape? Or how do I get the income? How do I get the girl? It's, how do I focus on every one of these pillars in my day? And so this is something I started doing in my mid-20s as I started to get on my personal development path. As I said, I don't want to be the fat rich guy, or I don't want to be the ripped guy in the gym who's broke, or I don't want to be the guy who's ripped and with money but doesn't have a girlfriend or friendships or good relationships. And I don't want to be the guy who has a good relationship and the money and the body, but he hasn't seen any of the world. And so that is why it's so key to look at life in these 5 different pillars and understand, how can I step into my power and how can I start to elevate each of these 5 pillars. For the adventure one, which I talk about as being so important, part of my life has been cultivating that. I went and lived in the Amazon with a tribe for a month. That was an incredible, impactful experience in my life. I learned so much about human nature. I learned so much about myself. It was the most difficult month of my life, but it also gave me endless stories to be able to take from that experience. And actually, one thing that happened is, after that experience in the Amazon, I went to New York. I met a good buddy of mine, Shane, who's an author, and he said, "Hey man, come to this barbecue. I want you to tell some of your Amazon stories at this barbecue." So here I am at this barbecue, don't know anyone else, beautiful rooftop in New York, and I'm there with Mark Manson, who I've read his books, Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I'm there with Nir Ewald or AWOL, another book I've read. I'm there with Dan Schwabel, another author whose books I've read. And I was there at this party telling my stories about the Amazon. I had all these guys whose books I've been reading for years looking at me, wanting to hang out with me, wanting to connect with me because of the experience that I've had, the adventure I cultivated. This sets you apart as a man. This gives you interesting things to talk about on a date. This allows you to have a better relationship and connection with yourself because you've gone and done these things. And so one thing that is key, and one thing that anyone who goes through my programs gets, is a sheet where they actually outline their goals for their 5 pillars. What is your goal with your mindset? Okay, what are you doing every day to improve it, to get yourself to a healthier place, to get yourself to a more fun place, to get yourself to a more confident place? Beautiful. Your body, what are you doing every day to improve your connection with your body, to improve the physical shape of your body? What are you doing every day to improve your business, right? A lot of people have goals for their business, but how are you doing habits every day that's going to take you to the next level, to give more value, to become better at your craft? Then what are you doing every day to cultivate better relationships? Do you have goals for that? Do you have habits for that? And then the 5th one, what are you doing every week or every month or every year or every 6 months to cultivate that adventure pillar for you? And this is just so key as a man. This makes you that well-rounded man. This makes you the man who has it all. It creates the ultimate man when you're able to do this. And this has truly been the question for most of my life that I've been obsessed with, is how do we have it all? There's a reason why I spent a lot of time in my later 20s not building wealth, but instead traveling. Because I look at guys like Alex Hormozy, if you know who he is. He's famous on the internet right now because he makes $100 million a year. But I followed him for a long time and I've looked at his life. I think the only places he's really gone to are Mexico to visit for a week. Right? He's made the money, but he hasn't had the life experiences. He doesn't have the stories. He doesn't have the adventure. He doesn't have the flavoring. He hasn't done the mindset work to really be happy. So he's on this constant chase of more and more and more and more money. So I think it's so important as a man to really sit back for yourself and look and say, how do I start to cultivate these 5 pillars? How do I learn to dance? How do I take a hobby like motorcycle riding or jiu-jitsu to start to build myself not just into someone who has wealth, but someone who has charisma, someone who has character, someone who has experiences, who has seen the world? That is the ultimate man, in my belief. And that is the man I believe that we want to create. That leads to a rich and fulfilling life. So that is it, guys. If you guys want some resources and help, I have a sheet down below I'll add a link to for the 5 pillars. And as always, if you guys are not in a community of men pushing you to the next level, create your own, join mine, or find another one. As men, we are meant to be in small packs. We are meant to be in tribes, helping elevate our level. Let's go get it. Much love to all of you. Let's go.